My. Well, that didn't last long. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. And stop the music. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Good morning. How are you today? I see a few people are here just waiting for the show to begin, and I'm so happy that you are here. And yes, RVA, you were first. You get the bell. Good morning, Della Hayes. Good morning, Maddie. And there's a couple people lurking, and I'm going to get the music going early today. Just make sure I got the volume level right, because this thing refreshed itself over the night. You know when you get those updates and you're just not sure what's happening? Let's see. Oh, yeah, that was going to blow your ears out if I'd have left that on. So, here, let me get this at a nice volume. We're going to stick with the jazz today just because I'm going to do that for a couple more days, and then we'll go from there. So let's see. Let's get the music going. Let's see if I can't tell. Oh, that's loud. Hang on. Oh, it's because it's a really soft song. Good morning, Max Del Rio. Good morning, Della Hayes. I already said hi to you. And Seamus Derby. Good morning. How are we doing? Okay. I'm trying to figure out this level. Hang on. So there's that one. That should be good. How are we doing for the volume? Does that sound good? Yes, RVA, you did get the bell. All right. So today, when I said, oh, by the way, and I do have, oh my gosh. Try not to cough into the microphone, Dawg. I do have my cup of reparations coffee in the world's greatest father. That's what it says right there. Dad joke, big old dad joke. So when I said that didn't last long, do you remember when Joe Biden, the former vice president of the United States, got into the presidential race, and a lot of people were having some concerns about Joe Biden, because Joe Biden has this just weird, creepy habit of kind of touching people, but not just any people, touching women, grabbing them in weird ways, smelling their hair, whispering things in their ears, saying creepy things to them. And so Joe Biden, caught wind of this and made a nice apology and said, how he's going to change and now that couldn't have been that long ago, because he hasn't been in the race that long. Unfortunately, excuse me. Unfortunately, people are beginning to notice. Not just the normal people who've been noticing this for years, but now some other people are beginning notice. Here's the article from the Daily Wire. Biden touches girl at rally despite pledge to respect women's space and gets slammed online. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden stirred ire on social media on Tuesday after he touched a young girl at a campaign rally, despite pledging last month to be much more mindful about not invading people's personal space without their permission. Now, there's some other things Biden did during this, but I'll skip past that first. The New York Times reported that the interaction between Biden and the 10-year-old girl happened after she asked him a question about political division in the country. Yes, I'm sure she came up with that question on her own. She told him that her favorite subject was journalism, so Mr. Biden proceeded to bring her to the back of the room where journalists and TV cameras were congregated and put his hands on her shoulders, the Times added. The moment raised some eyebrows among online commentators. In the week leading up to his entrance to the race, a number of women said Mr. Biden had made them uncomfortable by touching them, leading to a reckoning around the physical way he has often interacted with women in public. Washington Post national political reporter Felicia Salmez also documented the incident, tweeting, "In a somewhat odd moment at tonight's AFT town hall, Biden tells a 10-year-old girl, 'I bet you're as bright as you are good looking.'" Oh, creepy Joe. Good morning, Smarty Bear. I see you there. Yeah, I bet he tells a 10-year-old girl, "Yeah, I bet you're as smart as you are good looking." He takes her over to the assembled reporters, then stands behind her and puts his hands on his shoulders while he's talking. Recall that Biden filmed a video last month in which he vowed to respect women's personal space, Sondman added. Seems he hasn't quite gotten the message. Okay, so here's the video, and I'll expand this a little bit. So here's Joe Biden talking to this 10-year-old girl.
I bet you're as bright as you're good.
Now hold up. Watch the react. Now some of these people think it's cute and are laughing, but the reaction on this woman's face when he first says it. Look, he just.
I bet you're as bright as you're good.
She gave that like. She gave that look. Oh my goodness.
Journalism. Whoa. I better be more circumspect in my answer. Those guys back there. Go ahead. The next question.
So now so he grabs his arm, grabs the girl's arm, and walks away with her. Like, didn't say, "Here, come with me." Instead of just saying, "Hey, why don't you come with me?" No, he grabs her arm and pulls her with him. Now, I don't know if this whole video. Let's see here. Here we go. Now watch this.
Okay, over here. Washington Post, New York Times.
Look at him. Look. And now, Joe, what are you doing? Dude.
And by the way, that's one of the things that's a dangerous idea. You know, as these guys will tell you, I'm not always their favorite subject. But the truth of the matter is, the reason we are who we are is called a free press. Continuing to
Joe, it's you know, and now I don't want to say, look, I'm not saying there's something nefarious about it, but it's just, after all the controversy that he's had, he's got to watch that nonsense. So here's the thing. So Sondman noted that Biden's campaign refused to respond to a request for comment about the incident. Biden received widespread condemnation on social media from conservatives and leftists for his behavior. Now, I don't care about conservatives. Conservatives have been noticing this for a long time, and everyone else has ignored it. But when you get Martin Luther Cream to notice, Sean King, what the hell? Please escort this man out of politics. He doesn't get it. This is so damn creepy. This may be a tipping point, honestly. Now Sean, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What was the other one? Oh, there's a bunch of them. I got to bring up my list of Sean King euphemisms. But yeah, Rosie O'Donnell tweeted, "Just creepy." Talcum X, hell yeah, that's one of them. Leftist Elad Nahoyer tweeted, "How the freaking freak is this guy leading against Warren?" Oh man, Jaden Hansen, this is not odd for him. He does it all the time. It is a sickness. Now again, yes, it's creepy, and I've never thought it was necessarily nefarious, although it is creepy. And maybe nefarious is maybe not the word. It's still creepy, especially that video. We've seen that video a million times, but I may dig that one out later again too. Nick Searcy tweeted. Now Nick Searcy's not a leftist, but he's the best Democrat running or something. Those girls need to be ignored and silenced in order to save women or something. Oh my God, Russian Putin Trump. Mark Krikorian. Afterwards, he invited her to his van to see a puppy. Oh, I didn't read these before. I didn't read them before I checked this out. Joe Ganther. There goes the brief boomlet in support for creepy Joe Biden. Me too. Stephen Miller. And that's when AIDS fired the tranquilizer dart. Oh, Max Burns. I'll take that shower scalding hot. Thanks. And then there's some people, I would prefer Joe Biden was not running for president. I've been thinking about how to articulate this without getting into father of a daughter nonsense, but my woke 7-year-old hears how pretty she is from a lot of weird old people, and her mother and I have had a lot of conversations about her, with her about how to deal with it. In all, I think it would be good if weird old people who think it's okay to train young girls they've never met to think of themselves in terms of their attractiveness would gently remove themselves from national politics. Anyway, that's Mr. Joe Biden for you. All right, moving on. Let's go on to now the next one I have here. So, you know, this the Christopher Steele is the British ex-spy who made a dossier that's become famous as of late, purporting to claim that Donald Trump did some weird things and did this and that and had some Russian ties and had some prostitutes pee on a bed and something about an embassy or a Russian embassy in Miami that doesn't exist. Well, apparently, Mr. Steele doesn't want to speak to the prosecutor examining the Trump probe. British ex-spy will not talk to U.S. prosecutor examining Trump probe origins, according to a source. This is a Reuters report, so I never know what source means, but I think they're going to want to get to the bottom of this. The former British spy who produced a dossier describing alleged links between Donald Trump and Russia will not cooperate with the prosecutor assigned by U.S. Attorney General William Barr to review how the investigations of Trump and his 2016 election campaign began, a source with knowledge of the situation said. Christopher Steele, a former Russian expert for the British spy agency MI6, will not answer questions for prosecutor John Durham, named by Barr to examine the origins of the investigation into Trump and his campaign team, said a source close to Steele's London-based private investigation firm, Orbis Business Intelligence. Fascinating. Wow, I wonder why he doesn't want to talk to the investigators. Maybe because his dossier was a load of crap paid for by the Democrats and Hillary Clinton. Anyway, Steele, let's see. Trump has given broad authority to declassify intelligence materials related to the investigations. Last week, Trump ordered the heads of U.S. spy and law enforcement agencies to cooperate with Durham. Steele, who had previously collaborated with the FBI on issues such as corruption in the global soccer organization FIFA, was hired in 2016 by Fusion GPS, a Washington-based private investigation firm working for lawyers representing the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Now, that's just strange. Why would So we have this guy, he's working for Fusion GPS, who's working for the lawyers representing the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton, and he came up with some dirt on Donald Trump that turned out to be fake. That was brought to him by some that he got from Russians. That sounds like Russians interfering in an election on behalf of a candidate, but I don't think it was the candidate we've been talking about for these last 2 years. Anyway, Steele produced for Fusion GPS a set of controversial and sometimes salacious reports describing alleged contacts Trump and his team had with Russians before the election. Trump said Steele's fake dossier was a key factor behind the investigations and what he claims is a broader witch hunt against him. He also accused senior intelligence officials of improperly spying on his campaign. According to documents declassified by the Trump administration, the FBI cited Steele's reporting as partial justification for electronic surveillance targeting Carter Page, a one-time Trump campaign advisor with business dealings in Russia. So now, if you ask people who supported the Russian investigation, or who were hoping that the Russian investigation would come up with something, they like to tell you, "Oh, no, that dossier really wasn't a big factor in starting the investigation. It was the stuff that they had on Papadopoulos, and with his meeting with Stephen Mifsud and Andrew Dumbo Downer and all those guys." But unfortunately, I believe James Comey did say that the dossier was part of their reasoning for doing this. So, who knows? Hello, P-Dog. I finally got a watch for a change. Oh, is that? Does your watch have an alarm on it? Good morning, Good morning, Stargazer. I'm not Stargazer Nights, and I'll call you Stargazer. I know those guys call you Nits. I just can't do it. The first time I saw your handle, I knew it meant Stargazer Nights. I don't know why those other guys couldn't figure that out. Anyway, so Christopher Steele is refusing to cooperate with the new investigation, although he did apparently. Let's see. The source close to Steele's company said Steele would not cooperate with Durham's probe, but might cooperate with a parallel inquiry by the Justice Department's Inspector General. Well, here's why he would. And I can tell you why he would cooperate with the Inspector General, but may not cooperate with Dunham, because the Inspector General cannot recommend charges, whereas Durham can recommend charges. And so I think feeding a fake dossier to the FBI, there's got to be some kind of crime in that somewhere. There's got to be. Let's see. Also, into how U.S. law enforcement agencies handled pre-election investigations in both Trump and Clinton. Steele also cooperated with the Mueller investigative team, voluntarily submitting to 2 interviews in September 2017. He also gave written testimony to the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee in August 2018, the source says. Now, yeah, the other part of the thing is it's weird because that dossier, even when they took it to the FISA courts, they knew that the information in it had not been verified, and yet they used it as part of their FISA application. Now, some people saying, well, it was more about Papadopoulos and all this other stuff, but we're gonna find out. Let's just put it this way: we're gonna find out because it's all being unclassified. So anyway, so he's no longer cooperating. All right, next article. Oh, hey, remember when Donald Trump said, well, maybe we should just start sending these people in process for illegally crossing our border to some of your sanctuary cities? Remember that? Well, this is not cool. I don't know if I like this article or not, but DHS is flying illegal aliens to U.S. cities, releasing them into communities. It's becoming a mess, people. The Department of Homeland Security is flying border crossers and illegal aliens into cities across the United States and releasing them directly into American communities, reports claims. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's just read the article. A report by the Associated Press states that aside from DHS releasing nearly 200,000 border crossers and illegal aliens in about 4 American communities since December 2018, the agency is flying border crossers and illegal aliens into U.S. cities and then releasing them. I wonder what cities they're sending them to. I guess maybe they'll say in here. Let's see. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has historically ensured that families had travel plans before releasing them, but last year it shortened custody stays in response to the growing numbers of arrivals from Mexico. They began dropping migrants off in cities along the border and at burgeoning shelters and bus stations, emphasis added. At the same time, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which turns over border crossers to ICE after arresting them, has begun flying migrants to other cities for processing and is releasing them directly into communities without going through ICE, saying their own facilities are at capacity. What stops them from flying them to cities that are not in our country? I don't get it. Send them to Mexico City. I don't know. Maybe it's more humane to keep them here. I don't know. I guess some of them, a lot of them are, even though right now they're only about 20 to 25% of the people applying for asylum even qualify for asylum, and I'm sure that number is getting lower as we get more and more people coming here. But I'm still not sure why do they bring them to cities in the U.S. Send them to other. Anyway. That's just an aside. Similarly, a report by the New York Times detailed similar cases where DHS has started flying border crossers and illegal aliens into the interior of the U.S. before releasing them. The Times report, Customs and Border Protection officials said they began flying migrant families from overcrowded facilities in the Rio Grande Valley in Texas to San Diego on Tuesday. It is expected that as many as 3 flights, each carrying up to 135 migrants, will be scheduled each week. The agency also recently started flying migrants 5 times each week from the Rio Grande Valley to Del Rio, Texas. Nearly all of the migrants are traveling as families, including some with young children. So that's the thing, man. So it's the ones that so they're sending ones that are traveling as families, these are probably the ones that they've verified are actually their kids, because now they're now they're doing DNA testing to make sure that these the so-called some of the families that are just brought here by traffickers aren't really families. They're like Rent-A-Kid, because they know that they are much more lenient with people with children. Man, it's a mess. They got to figure this shit out. Anyway, as Breitbart has chronicled, DHS has ramped up its catch and release of thousands of border crossers and illegal aliens since the end of 2018. Between May 14th and May 21, DHS released about 7,900 border crossers and illegal aliens in about 5 American communities, including San Antonio, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, El Paso, Texas, and San Diego, California. The catch and release process often entails federal immigration officials busing border crossers into nearby border cities and dropping them off with the hope that they show up for their immigration and asylum hearings. The hope that they show up. Good. Fantastic. The overwhelming majority of border crossers and illegal aliens are never deported from the country once they are released into the U.S. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, man. It's one of those things. What do you do, man? Well, I know what they're doing. They're building the wall. Of course, a section of the wall, a judge in California who donated $20,000 to the Obamas and Democrats over the last 10 years, he had an injunction against the wall because of the way they were funding it through some military funds. So that's going to have to sit in court while they hold up the machinery that started that section of the wall. All right, moving on. Hey, we talked about this yesterday, but here's the article. French Senate votes to keep Notre Dame Cathedral as it was before the fire. The French Senate is standing up to other efforts in the French government to give Notre Dame Cathedral a modern redesign following the massive fire last month. According to multiple media reports, France's Senate passed a bill to restore the centuries-old Catholic worship site after lengthy debate and stipulated that the structure must be restored as it was before the conflagration. On April 15th, a fire now this is interesting. This is an interesting line. What's the date of this article? The article, so this is 28th. So this is yesterday. Listen to this line. On April 15th, a fire. The cause still officially unknown. Now, I know there's people out there that are adamant that this couldn't have been arson. In fact, the day of the fire, they were trying to say, oh, no, there's no way this is arson. There's no way this is arson. There's no way this is arson. We don't know. The cause of the fire is still officially unknown. Tore through the historic building, engulfing the structure's roof and hallmark spire, but miraculously leaving the sanctuary, altar, and cross intact, as well as sparing other historic treasures. So, anyway, so the Senate in France says, oh, you know that design you're thinking about with the new big glass spiral and the glass roof and the greenhouse and the upper roof and all that nonsense? Just 1 minute. Hold that thought. It ain't happening. Good. I think it should be restored as it was if they can. It's going to cost them a lot of money, but there's lots of people donating for that cause. All right, next article. Oh, yeah. And then, you ever see these bumper stickers? The coexist bumper stickers? No, this is an editorial from Human Events. But I first of all, for the most part, all of these things do coexist pretty well. I probably could get in trouble for saying this, but except for one. I'm just saying. All right. Coexist? No chance. Liberal crusaders want you dead. Modern liberalism is essentially a religion. It has a providential sense of history, saints and sinners, and a crusading zeal. And like any other religion, it has inevitably come into conflict with other established religions. That's interesting. That's a true put. Mayor Pete Buttigieg, however you say his name, in a fiery recent speech said the struggle is not over when transgender troops ready to put their lives in the line for this country have their careers threatened with ruin, one tweet at a time, by a commander-in-chief who himself pretended to be disabled to get out of service when it was his turn. What? That sentence didn't even make sense. The struggle is not over when transgender troops ready to put their lives in the line for this country have their careers threatened with ruin, one tweet at a time. Oh, I see. That was it. All right. In the comments aimed at the LGBT community, he railed against U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, a prime target if there was one. Quote, that's the thing I wish the Mike Pences of the world would understand, he thundered, that if you have a problem with who I am, your problem is not with me. Your quarrel, sir, is with my creator. A tad perplexing, given that Pence has never given any indication of having a problem with Mayor Pete. In fact, they've gone to festivals together and hung out and drank beer together. I don't think Pence has ever said a bad thing about Mayor Pete, but I think Mayor Pete's running for something, isn't he? Oh, yeah. He's running for president. Anyway, in fact, in June 2015, then Indiana Governor Mike Pence was asked about Buttigieg's sexual orientation. He responded, I hold Mayor Buttigieg in the highest personal regard. We have a great working relationship, and I see him as a dedicated public servant and patriot. So, yeah, sounds like Pence kind of likes Buttigieg. Anyway, likewise, in March of the same year, the then governor tweeted that if he finds any restaurant discriminating against anyone on the basis of sexuality, he would personally be opposed to it. Okay. It defies logic that the party of Harvey Weinstein would complain about Mike Pence bringing about The Handmaid's Tale, a man who believes in 1950s style chivalry. But it is for that 1950s chivalry itself, Pence and his family have been repeatedly targeted by activists as well as the media. These paradoxical attacks on Pence are the culmination of the forces we have observed in the past few years. In order to understand that, one needs to understand the liberal crusaders. Modern liberalism, for lack of a better word, is a religion. It may sound counterintuitive for an idea specifically claiming to be emancipatory, being as rigid as a religion. However, especially post 2016, liberalism has turned into a religion scorned, beaten back, and is now taking a crusading turn. Look at Steven Pinker, one of the grinning saints of modern providential liberalism. You can find a detailed review of his new book, Enlightenment Now, The Case for Reason, Science, Humanism, and Progress here. Basically, Pinker doesn't understand what enlightenment... What? I actually like Steven Pinker. What is this? Where is this going? I can't remember why I picked this out. Maybe just because... where am I here? Oh, there we go. Okay, he considers everything that's happened since 1590 to be good. He doesn't consider the Judeo-Christian values and cultural forces, the reactionary movements, the Bernini, Bach, Beethoven to be of any influence on the Enlightenment, and never answers why the Renaissance happened only in Europe, not elsewhere. Pinker also cherry picks data to suit his findings on declining violence. The reaction to my review was hysterical. Saints must not be critiqued. Oh, I see. He did a review of Pinker, and people got a little bit angry. While the theory of liberalism as a philosophy arose as an emancipatory idea against faith, family, and flag conservatism in Europe, it slowly morphed into a quasi-religious force of its own, and mostly due to its own inherent contradictions. Now, this article goes on and on and on. Here's the thing. You all know probably if you say something that's on the line, you're considered a heretic and should be shunned. And I'm just thinking maybe this article went way longer than I was expecting, so I'm not going to... it's way too long. But it goes on and on, kind of in that vein. So I'm gonna finish that one there. So let's tell you what. Let's do this because I didn't really mean to read that. Oh, this is the one that I really wanted to read. Gosh, no wonder I was off. My last news article of the day. Apparently, Chuck Schumer is angry at Republicans for temporarily blocking disaster relief bills. Months earlier, he helped kill a disaster relief bill. Good old Chuck Schumer. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer slammed Republicans on Tuesday for stalling a disaster relief package less than 2 months after he convinced Democratic California Senator Dianne Feinstein to flip her vote and oppose, you guessed it, a disaster relief package. Now, I'm curious. I can't remember what the reason behind so here's what's happening. The House of Representatives was finishing up on a disaster relief bill, kind of an all-encompassing one that is supposed to cover at least disaster relief up through part of the year. And what happens is they wanted to do it by unanimous consent, meaning that without a vote, just saying, oh, yep, we're going to pass this. And if one person in the entire House of Representatives objects, then they have to actually vote on it and go through a whole bunch of rigmarole to pass the bill. One Republican objected. Okay, and then a few days later, they tried to do it again, and then another Republican has rejected, and both of them are rejecting on the fact that because of the wall funding, that they haven't passed the wall funding, and so I think that's why they're both rejecting it. So now Schumer's complaining about this when not just a couple months ago, the Democrats in the Senate did the exact same thing. So, by the way, there's a few more people. Good morning, Duck Dog. Good morning, Maniac Man. I see you. You guys popped in while I was rambling on and on and on. So anyway, here's Schumer. If anyone doubts about which party is blocking disaster aid, this should erase it all. One Republican pops up after the next to prevent disaster-impacted areas from receiving the aid they so desperately need. Yeah, actually, they're getting the aid they need this is just extending more money for the disaster relief. Schumer said in a statement, first it was President Trump, then Republican members of the Senate, and now it's Republican members of the House. Where are the Republicans who falsely blamed Democrats in the past for blocking this aid, he continued. Thy name is Chuck Schumer. Anyway, Schumer released a statement after Republican Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie temporarily derailed a $19.1 billion with a B dollar disaster relief package by objecting to a unanimous consent vote. The objection did not block the legislation, but rather required the House to vote on the measure through roll call. And they, for whatever reason, they didn't do that. Massie was the second Republican to oppose passing the legislation without a roll call vote. Republican Representative Chip Roy voted down the unanimous consent vote hours after most of members of Congress left Washington, D.C. for Memorial Day weekend. Major legislation that spends taxpayer dollars should be discussed, debated, and members should cast a vote, Roy said after Massie's no vote. That is how our system is set up. That is how it is supposed to operate. So yeah, he's just objecting them not talking about the bill. No, we're not just going to pass it willy-nilly. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to discuss it. We are going to call a vote on it, and most likely we will call a roll call vote. Schumer's condemnation comes only months after he notably approached Feinstein on the Senate floor and convinced her to change her vote on a $13.5 billion with a B package for disaster relief from recent floods, hurricanes, and wildfires. Feinstein initially voted in favor of the legislation. However, only seconds after casting her vote, the New York senator confronted her, and following the conversation, Feinstein immediately walked to the clerk and flipped her vote to nay. What did you just say there earlier, Chucky boy? Where are the Republicans who falsely blamed Democrats in the past for blocking this aid? Those were his exact words. Good Lord, Chucky Schumer boy. I'm sorry, you didn't have the article here. Let's see. The bill ultimate. And then the bill failed. It failed to advance in the Senate after it was voted down by 44 to 49. It would have provided $610 million in nutrition assistance to Puerto Rico. However, Senate Democrats reportedly voted against the bill, claiming the island needed more money. Wow. You Democrats voted against a bill that would provide nutrition assistance for the children of Puerto Rico? How dare you? How dare you? You terrible people. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi also expressed outrage over Massie's objection, despite refraining from condemning Senate Democrats over their opposition to the disaster relief package in April. The heartless House Republicans have no pounds, Pelosi said, just days after sabotaging a partisan bicameral vote to provide urgently needed relief to millions of families reeling from natural disasters. House Republicans have repeated their stunning obstruction. Roy and Massie both fired back at Pelosi over the accusation. Hey, Pelosi, what's wrong with voting? It's our job. I'm on a plane back to D.C. as soon as you give the word, Roy tweeted. While you're at it, how about a vote on the full border supplemental? Well, I don't think he laughed like that, but I like laughing like that, so there you go. If Speaker Pelosi considered this a must-pass legislation, why did she send everybody home on recess for 10 days before voting on it? So there you go. Chucky boy. Chuck. I wonder if he's in the new Child's Play movie. Okay, let me ask y'all something. Oh, by the way, Maddie did this for me, but I'm gonna read exactly what she said. Hey, don't forget, the Morning Night Live is made possible by you, the really cool viewers. Like and share the stream and tip using the Streamlabs link in the description if you are also so inclined. Thanks. And if you want a super chat, that helps too. I'll read those for you if you want to. But yeah, don't forget the like button, all that stuff. I don't know where everybody is. There's only 13 people here. What's going on? What is going on with my stream? I don't know, man. Is it really only 13? Oh well. Well, you know what? I'll work on that. I got to get better. I keep talking about making videos. I'm making a video today. Well, it may not be done today, but I'm starting it today. So it's been a while since I made videos. I got to make more videos. I think that would really help my channel grow. Although this is so fun. I love hanging out with y'all every morning. All right. What else we got? Oh, you know what? Now we're gonna go through Twitter trends kind of thing. By the way, thank you, Shiograph, and all the people, and Maddie. Maddie, you just told me to put the show on. Anyway, thanks to everyone who are sharing. You know what? Here's the thing. So you, my friendly regulars, I don't know if you are on what social media you are on or not, but the biggest thing that helps me as far as growing the channel and having more people join us for the show is you guys sharing it. So that share arrow right down here, next to the like button, the little arrow that goes up, well, it actually goes up that way. But if you click that and send this out to if you're on Twitter or any of those things, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, I don't know, all those things, that is the biggest help to me right now. I do appreciate the super chats, I appreciate the donations, I appreciate the likes, but share is the big one right now. So there you go. And I don't mean share gypsies, tramps, and thieves, they come, the people of the town, they call us, not that share. Share as in sharing is caring. There you go. So let's get into Twitter trends, because that's what we do every day. Do we want to find out what people are talking about today? Oh, you know what? When this comes on, trending number one is Robert Mueller, because Robert Mueller is about to make a public statement on the Russia investigation. So hopefully I'm going to find a live feed where that is. Let's see here. It's trending number one. Special counsel Robert Mueller is set to make his first public statement about the Russia probe in an hour. Now that was at 9 o'clock or whatever. It's supposed to be at 11 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Wait, what? Working on it when I start my show. Oh, thank you so much, Manny. I appreciate that. I gotta have you on here sometime. Oh, by the way, my guest. I have a guest Friday. I forgot to tell you. I'll have to tweet this out. This Friday, my guest is going to be the Hard Bastard from the Hard News Network. He does a lot. He does. He mostly critiques media coverage of politics and social things. So he spends a lot of time reading articles about what's going on with the Mueller investigation, with the Hillary Clinton investigation. He does critiques of, he loves to do critiques of Chris Cuomo on CNN, the Young Turks, a lot of the MSNBC people. He does David Pakman, all kinds of stuff. So he's going to be my guest on Friday, and we're just going to be talking about how news coverage of the Mueller investigation has been going, and we might go over a couple articles together. But he's great. I'll link his channel in the description when we have him on. But that'll be a fun time. He's a really good dude, and you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. So look forward to that. So that's on Friday at Dog Park Friday with the Hard Bastard. So moving on. So anyway, Robert Mueller is going to make a public statement today. I'm trying to find, hopefully, let's see. Now, so I'm just looking at these tweets. The first two are saying that he's going to make a statement. Wait a minute. So ABC News puts this up. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's indictments by the numbers. 34 people indicted, 3 business entities indicted, 37 total. 6 Trump associates have been charged with making false statements to either Congress or federal investigators. Well, that's pretty easy to get that. Those are process crimes. 7 guilty pleas, but nothing would have to do with Russia. Now, this is interesting how ABC puts this graphic up. This is clearly an anti-Trump graphic. Not saying what the guilty pleas were for, not one having to do with the Russia investigation, which is Mueller's, which was his charge. Now, the funny thing is when that Mueller report came out and there was a bunch of people trying to downplay it, well, he didn't have a very wide scope of what he could investigate. You know, he was into everything. He was into Trump's finances. Obviously, the crimes of Manafort had nothing to do with Russia, so it wasn't a narrow scope because Manafort's crimes were from 10 years ago before he even started doing stuff for Trump. So that's just BS. Anyway, let's see. Jesse Kelly. Robert Mueller knew there was no Trump-Russia collusion over a year ago and sat on that information through the midterm elections. I've seen his report. I'm profoundly uninterested in any lame attempts he's now going to make to save his reputation. That is an interesting thing, too. They knew, they concluded the Russia portion of this investigation. They knew a year ago. In fact, pretty much when they started, because remember, during these... when Peter Strzok was testifying before Congress, they had part of their the text message chain that said they knew there was nothing there, but they were going to go check it out anyway. Hey, good morning, Jaeger Pony. Welcome. Good morning, Necro. Nice to see you. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's see. CNN tweets, Attorney General Barr was told ahead of time about Robert Mueller's intent to make a statement today, according to a source familiar with the plans. Well, yeah, okay. That's fine. What's their story here? Attorney General William Barr was informed ahead of time about Mueller's statement. Attorney General William Barr was told ahead of time about Robert Mueller's intent to make a statement today, according to a source familiar with the plans. Barr is currently in Alaska for tribal justice and safety meetings. Okay, yeah, they're stalking him. Robert Mueller got to work at 7:19 a.m. 36 minutes ago. Okay, this is so they're stalking. Special Counsel Robert Mueller arrived at his office this morning at 7:19 a.m. Eastern Time. CNN journalists have stood outside Mueller team's offices for 18 months. Oh my gosh! They've been standing outside his office for 18 months. Oh, good Lord. Let's see. Updated 10:55 a.m. Eastern Time. So they should be on. Okay. Oh, no, that's what it was updated. We'll speak soon. Live updates. Here's what I need right now. Okay. Here's what I need. I need to find a live feed of this. Here, let's see. Let's go to latest on this. Let's go Robert Mueller. And let's go latest. See if they have any coming up. CSN special report makes a statement on the Russia probe. Watch the coverage. CBS. Oh, News Now. Okay. Well, that's not it. Where the hell? Let's go. I want to find a place where they're going to stream it on here. Let's see. Okay, NPR, listen live. I don't want to listen live. I want to watch. Oh, here we go. Who's this? Here.
You're tuned in right now. It's Wednesday, May.
Okay, so this is someone named the Pete Santilli Show.
May 29th, and we're awaiting. You'll hear some music in the background, and then as soon.
What I want to do is I want to find one here. Maybe there's one. Let's check on. Let's check C-SPAN Live. Maybe they'll have the feed up here right now. They do not. Here, let's go. Sorry, I hate to do this while I'm on like this. Oh, here we go. Da-da-da. That's me. Let's see. Well, we might have to do the Twitter one. I hate to use someone else's show just because it doesn't always work out great. You get in trouble for that kind of stuff. But he's supposed to be coming on any time now. We'll see if there's another one on here waiting his feed. I should probably read some of the tweets here because I'm probably gonna laugh. Let's have a good chuckle at this. Robert Mueller is. Let's see the top ones. Okay, we did that one. Okay, Siraj Hashmi. So you're telling me Robert Mueller waits until the last 10 days of Ramadan to speak publicly for the first time about the Russian investigation? This ain't no coincidence, fam. He's up there for one reason and one reason only. Sharia! Oh, God. Now, Siraj Hashmi is actually, he's kind of a funny dude. He works for this, for the Washington Examiner. He's a reporter, but, you know what? I just thought of something that would be really funny. Kind of a funny video, although it would probably piss some people off. Do, a video about Sharia, but to the tune of Maria from West Side Story. Sharia, I just met a girl named Sharia. He's on. All right, let's go. Let's just watch it.
Government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign. Now, I have not spoken publicly during our investigation.
Here, let's turn my music off. Come on. Come on. Oh, you got to be kidding me. There's got to be a better feed. Here we go.
Work speak for itself. Because our investigation is complete, the Attorney General has made intelligence officers who were part of the Russian military launched a concerted attack on our political system. The indictment alleges that they used sophisticated cyber techniques,
Facebook,
to hack into computers and networks used by the Clinton campaign.
Downloaded.
They stole private information and then released that information through fake online identities and through the organization WikiLeaks.
Not government information.
The releases were designed and timed to interfere with our election and to damage a presidential candidate.
Who was already damaged.
And at the same time as the grand jury alleged the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign. Now, I have not spoken publicly.
Come on.
As the grand jury alleged in a separate indictment, a private Russian.
Good God. This feed sucks. I'm sorry, you guys. Come on.
Spoken publicly during our investigation.
Jesus, good Lord.
And at the same time.
Ah! Here, let's do this. I'll refresh the page. Here.
Contain allegations, and we are not commenting on the guilt.
Come on. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry about this.
It was critical for us to obtain full and accurate information from every person we questioned. When a subject of...
What the fuck? I don't even have anything else on.
Let me say a word about the report. The report has two parts, addressing the two main issues we were asked to investigate. The first volume of the report details numerous efforts emanating from Russia to influence the election. This volume includes emanating from Russia to influence the election.
Good fucking God. Well, it ain't working the way I wanted it to, guys. I'm going to try to find one that I can listen to without.
to charge a broader conspiracy.
Let's do it this way.
And in the second volume, the report describes the results and analysis of our obstruction of justice investigation involving the president. The order appointing me special counsel authorized us to investigate actions that could obstruct the investigation. And we conducted that investigation, and we kept the office of the acting attorney general apprised of the progress of our work. And as set forth in the report, after that investigation, if we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make a determination as to whether the president did commit a crime.
That's not your job.
The introduction to the volume 2 of our report explains that decision. It explains that under long-standing department policy, a president cannot be charged with a federal crime while he is in office. That is unconstitutional. Even if the charge is kept under seal and hidden from public view, that too is prohibited. The special counsel's office is part of the Department of Justice, and by regulation, it was bound by that department policy. Charging the president with a crime was therefore not an option we could consider. The department's written opinion explaining the policy makes several important points that further informed our handling of the obstruction investigation. Those points are summarized in our report, and I will describe 2 of them for you. First, the opinion explicitly permits the investigation of a sitting president because it is important to preserve evidence while memories are fresh and documents available. Among other things, that evidence could be used if there were co-conspirators who could be charged now.
But they didn't charge any co-conspirators.
The opinion says that the Constitution requires a process other than the criminal justice system to formally accuse a sitting president of wrongdoing. And beyond department policy, we were guided by principles of fairness. It would be unfair to potentially accuse somebody of a crime when there can be no court resolution of the actual charge. So that was Justice Department policy. Those were the principles under which we operated, and from them we concluded that we would not reach a determination.
He's purposely, Max, he's purposely muddying the waters.
Committed a crime. That is the office's final position, and we will not comment on any other conclusions or hypotheticals about the president. We conducted an independent criminal investigation and reported the results to the Attorney General, as required by department regulations. The Attorney General then concluded that it was appropriate to provide our report to Congress and to the American people. At one point in time, I requested that certain portions of the report be released. The Attorney General preferred to make the entire report public all at once, and we appreciate that the Attorney General made the report largely public, and I certainly do not question the Attorney General's good faith in that decision. Now, I hope and expect this to be the only time that I will speak to you in this manner. I am making that decision myself. No one has told me whether I can or should testify or speak further about this matter. There has been discussion about an appearance before Congress. Any testimony from this office would not go beyond our report. It contains our findings and analysis and the reasons for the decisions we made. We chose those words carefully, and the work speaks for itself. And the report is my testimony. I would not provide information beyond that which is already public in any appearance before Congress. In addition, access to our underlying work product is being decided in a process that does not involve our office. So beyond what I've said here today and what is contained in our written work, I do not believe it is appropriate for me to speak further about the investigation or to comment on the actions of the Justice Department or Congress. And it's for that reason I will not be taking questions today as well.
And yes, we are confident there were
Now, before I step
WMDs in
away,
Iraq.
I want to thank the attorneys, the FBI agents, the analysts, the professional staff who helped us conduct this investigation in a fair and independent manner.
The Democrats.
These individuals who spent nearly 2 years with the special counsel's office were of the highest integrity. And I will close by reiterating the central allegation of our indictments, that there were multiple, systematic efforts to interfere in our election. And that allegation deserves the attention of every American. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
And there you have it. The first and final words.
Wait
Special Counsel
until-
the first times he has spoken since he was appointed special counsel more than 2 years ago.
I don't want to hear
last time,
Stephanopoulos.
according to the special counsel, that he will speak. He says he is closing his office.
I don't want to hear George Stephanopoulos' spin on it. So let's now. If I refresh this, I bet it's just probably blowing up. Oh, yep. Clearly not exonerating Trump. It's not his job to not exonerate Trump. Period. That's not what they do. Our investigation is complete. The special counsel is formally closing, and I am resigning from the DOJ. That's not what he said. We must fight every single day against the hatred and bigotry of the Trump administration for our shared values of justice and equality. That's not what he said. Okay. Saying he's resigning as special counsel, returning to private life. Beyond this remark, it's important that the office's written work speak for itself. Okay. Common cause. We thank Robert Mueller for his investigation and writing this report, but let's be clear. He must absolutely testify before Congress in public. Tim O'Brien, obstruction strikes at the core of the government's ability to search for the truth and hold wrongdoers accountable. Asking for a friend, why did Bill Barr say something like that when he rolled out the Mueller report to begin with? Because he didn't. Because he didn't. All he gave was a summary of the conclusions, which is exactly what it was. Let's see. Now let's see how. Okay, so everyone's spinning this. Yeah, they're making a big deal about under longstanding DOJ policy, a president cannot be charged with federal crime while he is in office. That is unconstitutional, even if the charge is kept under seal and hidden from public view. That too is prohibited. You know, the other thing though, if there were no other indictments regarding that though, of course, yeah, so people are going to be, let's do some latest now. Let's do some latest on this. Robert Mueller, this is the only time I speak to you in this manner. There has been a discussion about appearing before Congress. Any testimony from this office would not go beyond our report. It contains our findings. Real quick here, I heard the old dingy ding. Thank you, Jaeger Pony. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Dude! Oh, you are so, oh my goodness. Thank you, Jaeger Pony, for the $100 Streamlabs super chat. Repatriate this coffee. I'll be in coffee for weeks and months for that. Oh my gosh, you are so, that is so amazingly generous. Thank you so much. Yes, the super chats are open today. Actually, you know, here's what I'm going to do. My son just graduated from college, and that will help me. He's looking for an apartment. He's going to live at home for a little while, but that'll help me do something nice for my son for his apartment. So thank you so much for the very, very generous super chat, Jaeger Pony. That's awesome. I'm a little bit speechless right now. I'm going to get back into some of these. Let's see. Breaking. Robert Mueller says the release of the Clinton emails were designed in time to interfere with our election and damage a presidential candidate. Well, yeah, he kind of said that, but let's just make it also clear. The reason you're not going to see evidence from this, you're not going to see a lot of the underlying evidence from this because they didn't actually investigate the hacking of the Democratic National Committee's servers. The Democratic National Committee had a third-party company come in. They paid called what is it called? What's it called? Something Strike. CrowdStrike. Okay, CrowdStrike is a third-party company, probably owned by a Democrat, that came in and said that their servers were hacked. The FBI, if let's say the Russians that they indicted for that somehow ended up in the United States in a courtroom, and they said, okay, here you guys hacked this, and here's the evidence. Do you think evidence from a third-party company paid for by the Democrats' company comes in and gives this evidence to the FBI, and the FBI never examines the servers themselves? Do you think that evidence would be allowed in a court of law? Hell no. Okay? Just like if it were the other way around. Let's say that the Trump Tower in New York City, the computer servers there, Trump claimed that the computer servers in New York City were hacked. And then he brought in his company called Trump Strike. And Trump Strike came in and examined those computers. And then gave the information to the FBI. See, my company Trump Strike proves that we were hacked by the Russians. Would the FBI accept that as evidence, or would they want to examine those servers themselves? Sorry, that's not acceptable evidence in a court of law. Let's see what else here. Breaking. Robert Mueller says he will not speak further about the probe. We already know that. Exactly as I predicted, Robert Mueller can never testify before Congress because he lied about Joseph Mifsud in his report, and he can't stand up to any questions about that period. That's the other thing. Joseph Mifsud, the information in that is incorrect. He doesn't even mention Andrew Downer in the report. You know, the guy that supposedly George Papadopoulos was spouting off to when they were drunk in a bar in London, the Australian ambassador. Not even mentioned. There's so many things. If he testifies before Congress, he's going to have to answer some serious questions from the Republicans, not just the Democrats. And the Democrats are going to grill him too. There's so many things in that report that are like that. We're like, whoa, wait a minute. How could this be? How could you not have anything about Andrew Downer in your report? So it's going to be fascinating. So he's not going to test. That's the the Democrats are going to demand he testify. I think he should testify before Congress. I don't know how he gets away with that. That's weird. Robert Mueller resigns, defends Donald Trump, blames Hillary Clinton for Russian collusion and election tampering. What? I don't know how he got that from that. I think he left Democrats more openings than he doesn't blame Hillary Clinton for Russian collusion. Oh, maybe they're just trying to get you to watch it. Is this someone else? Maybe, what is this? I'm afraid I'm not even going to click it. I don't even know where it goes. I'm not even going to click that. Former counsel Robert Mueller finishes his press conference saying, there were multiple systematic efforts to interfere in our election, and that deserves attention of every American. I absolutely want the attention on that fact. I want that investigated more. And it's funny, nobody's asking those questions. Again, the biggest question that has not been answered, that nobody seems to want to even try to answer, or no one's even hinted at answering. Okay, you say the Russians interfered in our election. What, and you've heard me say it before, what are the quantitative results of said interference? What did it do? Did it change anyone's mind? Is there a person in America who changed a vote because of a Buff Bernie coloring book Facebook ad? Or did any of the ads that troll farm the Russian troll farm, or any of the ads that didn't go on Facebook until after the election, how many votes did those change? Oh, wait. Did I just say they went up after the election? More than half the ads they're talking about went up after the election. Who hacked the DNC servers? It's, the DNC is not a government entity. How? What the hell's going on with my phone? There we go. It's not a government entity, so it's not like they hacked a private organization. How is it that the emails from a private organization? So the Russians hacked the DNC so they could tell you that Bernie Sanders was cheated. How exactly? How did that change votes? Maybe to get people to stop voting for Hillary. Maybe, I don't know. So was any of the information that WikiLeaks produced untrue? Apparently not. It's funny because we've never spent much time talking about that information. Maybe during the time there was a little bit of time, but then all of a sudden they started talking about the DNC was hacked by the Russians. Boy, that subject changed quickly. Hey, let's go back and examine what those WikiLeaks releases said. Was it true? Was it true? It's amazing how we completely forgotten about what was released in those WikiLeaks emails from the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, from John Podesta. Did you all know that there's a lawsuit right now against the Democratic National Committee? It's a class action lawsuit, but there's three people who initiated it. Did you know that there's a class action lawsuit against the Democratic National Committee for fraud against the class action for Bernie Sanders voters who were donating to the Democratic National Committee, thinking that their money was going towards a fair process, and the WikiLeaks emails proved that the process was not fair. No one's disputing the information in those emails. So Robert Mueller is going to be trending number one all day. I can pretty much guarantee that. All right, let's see what else is trending. Oh goodness, what else is trending on Twitter, boy? Robert Mueller is going to be the talk of the day, and I'm sure Rachel Maddow's in Chris Cuomo and Anderson Cooper and all of the usual suspects are going to have a field day because he just makes little hints, there's another process, to investigate the president. Of course, Robert Mueller from the beginning, he's a never Trumper. He's a Bush crony, By the way, hey, Robert Mueller, remember when you said that you were confident that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction? Remember that? All right. Number 2, Wednesday Wisdom. Breaking: Joe Biden Texas town hall results are in. Have you ever watched Tim Black? Tim Black is a very progressive side of the aisle kind of dude, and I haven't. Let's see. Former Vice President Joe Biden delivered his first town hall of 2020 race in Texas to a teachers union. I like Tim Black. I don't agree with his politics, but he's one of those dudes on the progressive left who he makes some sense sometimes. He's good sense. He's honest. And he scoffs at the whole Russia thing too. I think it's funny. There's a couple of people like that. Him, Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske in a sense. But Tim Black is entertaining. He's a pretty funny comedian. Let's put it this way. If you watch him and you're a conservative, you will like him even though you don't agree with him. He's a good dude. So if you're ever interested, check out Tim Black. Ranting Monkey has a Wednesday wisdom. Let's see. So here's the thing. The mark of maturity is when somebody hurts you and you try to understand their situation instead of trying to hurt them back. Okay, let's see the Ranting Monkey's point after reading this, not this. And then, okay, first of all, I'm going to look at this before I even look at what he said. Here's the thing. The mark of maturity is when somebody hurts you, you try to understand their situation, instead of trying to hurt them back. I'm going to give you this caveat. If you try to understand their situation and figure out they were not intentionally trying to hurt you. So yeah, maybe understand what happened, learn the facts first. I get that. But let's see what Monkey says here. That's asinine. You don't need to hurt them back. But if someone shoots you and you sit around thinking, I wonder what her home life is like, then you're likely an idiot. Okay, that's... Oh, there's some wisdom today. Oh, I see Necrosol comment on that too. Bully using your own hand to hit yourself. I wonder if they have stable home life. X burning your stuff for the front lawn. Wow, I wonder why she's doing that. Okay, that's funny. Nice one, Necro. All right, that's enough wisdom for Wednesday wisdom. Mueller speaks number 2. Roy Moore is number 4. Roy Moore is what? Oh, because the president tweeted something. That's why. Republicans cannot allow themselves again to lose a Senate seat in the great state of Alabama. This time it will be 6 years, not just 2. I have nothing against Roy Moore, and unlike many Republican leaders, wanted him to win. But he didn't, and probably won't. Let's see, did he go farther? If Alabama does not elect a Republican to the Senate in 2020, many of the incredible gains that we have made during my presidency may be lost, including our pro-life victories. Roy Moore cannot win, and the consequences will be devastating. Judges and Supreme Court judges. Okay, interesting. So he's not a fan of Roy Moore. Okay, so, and then Twitter moments, listen to that. Now, so listen. So clearly Trump doesn't think Roy Moore can win. Twitter moments decides to put up their best important part of the quote. Trump says he has nothing against Roy Moore, but warns against his chances of winning the Alabama seat. Now, Roy Moore has his problems. Now they did have the one scandal where some people made up some shit, and they had some of their own bots doing some stuff, but Roy Moore can't win. I'm just sorry. Who else is talking about Roy Moore? Oh yeah, Trump signals opposition to Roy Moore's Senate's bid, says he cannot win. All right, good. Okay, Chris Evans. Well, wait a minute. You have nothing against Roy Moore? Nothing? Well, you know what? Whatever. President Trump and his son are publicly warning Roy Moore against seeking a U.S. Senate seat in Alabama, fearing that the allegations of sexual assault that torpedoed his bid 2 years ago will again cost a Republican a winnable election. Okay, that's fair. Good point. Oh, what does Kyle Griffith say? Yeah, everyone's going to pick up on that. Nothing against Roy Moore. Yeah, of course of course they're going to pick up on one word. Moving on. What else is trending? Oh, Alex, did you hear about Alex Trebek? Alex Trebek says he's near remission of a stage 4 cancer diagnosis. That is fantastic. He has one of those types of cancer that not too many people survive. So here it is. It's kind of mind-boggling. The doctors said they hadn't seen this kind of positive result in their memory. Some of the tumors have already shrunk by more than 50%, Trebek said. So good. That's awesome. He's one of those guys, and I think it's just because has that little dry wit about him, and he never You don't know anything about Alex Trebek other than the fact that he's a guy who has a dry sense of humor and he hosts Jeopardy. He's not in politics. He's not in socialism. He's not in anything. He's on Jeopardy. He's a funny, kind of a funny, humorous dude, and he's a great host of Jeopardy for the longest time. Good luck for recovery, continued recovery, Alex Trebek. Moving on, Wednesday motivation will skip. Mueller statement will sit. Wednesday thoughts will skip. Death Stranding, something about a game, I bet. Yeah, Death Stranding reveal will be looking like that. Anyone is it Kojima that makes Death Stranding? I've never heard of the game. Can't wait for this Death Stranding reveal. People are ready for this, and I have no idea. Any of y'all play Death Stranding? Anyway, Trebek is my life. I like it. I've always liked Alex Trebek. He's a good dude. Riot Fest. What is this? Oh, the Riot Fest 15th anniversary lineup is here. Oh, September 13th through 15th at Douglas Park, Chicago. Blink 182, Slayer, Bikini Kill, the Rank Tours, Rise Against, the Flaming Lips. Okay, I'm familiar with Slayer, Blink 182, Flaming Lips, Jawbreaker, nope. Ween, nope. Block Party, nope. Die Antwood, nope. Oh, Patti Smith and her band. Oh, Patti Smith's going to be there? She's got a kind of a small billing there, though. Boy, the story so far. Avo, Struts. I've heard of the Struts. Against Me, Purpose, Pennywise, Starting Line, Coxbar, Leaps by... Okay, now Anthrax. Holy crap. They have been around for a while. Neck Deep, Bob Mould. All right. So anyway, if you're interested, The Village People, Andrew WK. He's a comedian, kind of a drummer dude too. Okay. So there's a few names in here I've heard. It's interesting how some of the, the Village People are way down here. So anyway, the Riot Fest, 15 years, Chicago Park for a 3-day music festival. If you're interested in that, if anyone near the Chicagoland area, or within a decent drive. All right, so there you go. Riot Fest. More Robert Mueller, Department of Justice. I wonder what... Okay, is it just about Robert Mueller? Yeah, just... Okay, so same thing. John... Oh, man, did you hear about John Cleese? People are pissed off at John Cleese. John Cleese accused of dog whistle racism for saying London is no longer an English city due to mass migration. So, people are mad at John Cleese because Monty Python icon John Cleese has stoked controversy by reiterating his belief that London is no longer an English city due to mass immigration. In a tweet to his 5.6 million followers, Cleese said, "Some years ago, I opined that London was not really an English city anymore. Since then, virtually all of my friends from abroad have confirmed my observations, so there must be some truth to it. I also note that London was the UK city that voted most strongly to remain in the EU." So there you go. He made some similar statements back in 2011 when he opined that London was handed the Olympic Games because of mass immigration, and so on and so forth. So there's people are pissed off at John Cleese. So that's why he's trending today. Good luck, John. Good luck. And Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky's trending. Do y'all know why Aunt Becky's trending? Apparently, Lori Loughlin's about to, at least has been sentenced to something like 40 years or something like that. And the reason it's trending, okay, the reason it's trending is because a lot of people are still, even though, because apparently she ended up pleading guilty or something, they gave her 40, they threw the book at her ass. Well, apparently people are pissed off still because either, well, let me just read some of the tweets because it's very it's very interesting. So someone named Shavi says, "I honestly don't think she deserves jail time at all. A heavy ass fine, yes, or maybe banning her and her kids from colleges. But 40 years? Is she a murderer? Whew, 40 years is a long ass time. Man, and because Lori Loughlin, known for playing Aunt Becky in Full House, will reportedly spend 40 years in jail after bribing her kids' way into college. She's having a complete mental breakdown. It is kind of surprising. 40 years. 40 years? Come on. That's a long ass time. I could see 5 years in a federal prison and some major fines. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the fraud. Maybe it's because she lied about it at first. I don't know. But 40 damn years. So anyway, so this person thinks she doesn't deserve 40 years. Now listen to the reply to that tweet. Black women have been jailed for sending their kids to a school out of their postal code to better their education. Aunt Becky can deal with it. Let's not compare. Oh, but then also some people are trying to compare her to like. What's the dude, Brock Turner and all these people. Let's not compare Aunt Becky to rapists and murderers because doing so cheapens the lives of the victims. Let's compare Aunt Becky to the black poor mothers who went to jail for trying to ensure their children got a quality education like she did. So they're talking about, there's a woman in, where the hell was it? I think it was in New York City who the county sent her to jail. It was a ridiculous. It was a absolutely stupid sentence, but like 10 years or some bullshit, because she faked an address of some place like a relative or friend lived, so her kids could go to a different school district. Now, I think that's ridiculous too. You know, come on, 10 years or whatever they gave her jail time for. Maybe even if it was 5, even if it was 1 year in jail. I'm sorry, you know. Put him on probation or some shit. Jesus. But still, this case being but this is the there's a lot of woke people talking about Aunt Becky today. Stop it. She's a famous white lady, famously known as Aunt Becky. She'll get 5 years probation at most. Well, nope, she's already getting 40 years. She faces up to 40 years. Yeah, she's gonna get probation. They haven't sent her yet. Or have they sent her yet? White people on Twitter comparing Aunt Becky possible to sentencing to Brock Turner and completely ignoring the thousands of minority women. No, thousands. The thousands of minority women who have received serious jail time for sending their kids to better districts. Where? Thousands where? Citation needed. Citation needed. Thousands? Thousands? Hold up. Related note, better school districts need to be abolished. Fund schools at the state level, whatever. That's, wait, hold up. Thousands? I need to ask. Thousands of women are going to jail. That's my question. So the thousands of minority women who have received serious jail time for sending their kids to better districts is peak. Thousands? I've heard of the one case in New York. You got thousands? Can you point some out? Question mark. Because I ain't never heard. I heard of one case in New York where a woman got prison, and she shouldn't have got it either. She shouldn't have got it, but still. And hell no. Should gotten jail time. All right, and hell no, that woman in New York should not have gotten jail time. Thousands? If there were thousands, there would be an uproar. There'd be, oh my God, could you imagine if there were 10, there would be protests all over the country. There ain't no thousands. Lying piece of, oh shoot, I took some batteries from work. Anyway, that's crazy. Anyway, all right, let's just go through the list now. Let's see what's left, because I got to get out of here. Okay. Becky's not even trending anymore. Robert Mueller's taken up all the air. He's like in the half of the top 10 now. Cheesy literature, we're going to skip that because it wasn't here before. John Cleese, Aunt Becky. Tanny's the last one on the list, and Tanny is time flies fast. Tanny. Apparently Tanny's a dog trending worldwide. This beautiful little pup right here is trending worldwide. I have no idea why. And you know what? I'm just, I don't know. Tanny the dog. Tanny's a popular little dog. Okay. Good for Tanny. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hey, that's that's for the show today. Look for everyone's heads to explode simultaneously as they start reading what other people write about the Mueller report. And, it's been a fun day. Good morning. Oh, Jason Burns, how you doing? I see you're here. Yeah, you missed some fun today, but anyway, y'all, I really got to go. Thank you so much for coming here every day. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. For those people in other parts of the world who do not follow our normal time. Yeah, we have normal time in the United States. No, we don't. We have daylight savings times and all other kinds of crap. But anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for the people who are who've been sharing my stuff. Thank you so much for the people who do donations, super chat, especially Jaeger Pony, who you have floored me today, my friend. Thank you so much. That was amazing. That's a first for me. So like I said, I'll do something nice for my son with that, and we'll let you know what that is later. But I gotta get out of here, people. It's so much fun. Don't forget, on Friday, we're having the Hard Bastard here from Hard News Network, just talking about how the media treats the political news of the day and how the corporate media. One of the things that he does really well is he finds all the corporate narratives and finds how all the news people happen to say the same thing about things. Like they kind of follow whatever Nancy Pelosi's office tells them to say. Yeah, I went there. We're going to talk about Nancy Pelosi tomorrow. Also, tomorrow, reminder, tomorrow is FTG Thursday. If you have nominations for FTG Thursday, right down here is my Twitter handle. I do have open DMs. If you want to DM me anyone you think should be on FTG Thursday, or you can email that to me right now. So it's at Dawg Knight on Twitter. But if you want to email it to me, just put that at on the other side. pdogknight@gmail.com. So that's all. I got no more. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dawg Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.